ये बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है। अगर ये इतने सारे डेटा पे ट्रेन है, अगर इसने सारी किताबें ह्यूमन जो रिटन है पढ़ रखी हैं, तो क्या वो एक्चुअल आपकी कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ के आंसर दे रहा है या वो पैरेट कर रहा है?
We have to create AI as a slave, not as a master. Almost 1 billion people do not earn enough to put food on the table, or in their case, the floor.
Good morning and welcome to Designing Tomorrow with Ashutosh. So throughout the history of computers, we have basically used them to process information. But what does it mean to truly understand? In order for an intelligent system to be truly intelligent, it first needs to perceive the world around it. It then needs to process complex scenarios. And then it finally needs to act on the ideal solution for that complex scenario. Are we there yet? And so today, in answering this question and in trying to figure out कि इसकी technology कहाँ तक पहुँची है, I'm very proud to announce that we have Mr. Brejesh Lall with us. He is a professor at IIT Delhi and also the founder of Carnot Research Private Limited. He has experience in academia, in research, in industry and everything in between. तो इनसे better इस question को answer करने के लिए अभी कोई नहीं है. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
So, sir, my first question to you is कि considering that we are in the age of AI right now, अब आपको क्या लगता है कि अभी करंट जो AI लोग बोलते हैं, जैसे लोग चैटबॉट समझते हैं, जो थोड़े टेक्निकल लोग LLMs बोलते हैं, वो होता क्या है, वो काम कैसे करता है?
जी, तो LLMs essentially is underlying, for people who understand, there's a neural network architecture known as a transformer.
अच्छा.
So transformer जो architecture है, this is based on this concept of attention. So when we talk of LLM, there are a couple of terms you should understand. One is attention. The other is a transformer. So what a transformer does is it picks up the entire information that you are interested in, and each word is then seen how it attends to everything else that appears in the content. So by knowing what things are correlated, you are able to create patterns. So if you ask a question, it tries to create context with whatever already exists and then looks for the right answer for it and puts it in a context that you will understand. So the fundamental idea is attending or correlating.
Achha.
It is so everything that is said is converted into tokens. That's another word you might hear. Those are embedded. Those embeddings are something that a transformer understands because that's the language it speaks, so to say. And while doing processing on those embeddings of the tokens, it looks for correlation patterns. And attention, as I teach in class, is a more capable form of correlation. Correlation has been used for pattern detection and AI for a very, very long time. You look for similarities, and based on that similarity, you take decisions when you are exposed to a novel situation. But correlation is a relatively simpler process. Attention makes it a little more sophisticated, if I may use the word.
So basically, if I were to summarize what you just said, तो basically क्या होता है, मान लो एक sentence है कि आशुतोष gave Professor Lal his book. तो his could be yours, his could be mine as well. तो attention जो ट्रांसफॉर्मर आर्किटेक्चर है, उसके अंदर एक attention वो होता है, वो क्या करता है, वो हर वर्ड का बाकी वर्ड से क्या रिलेशन है, आशुतोष का प्रोफेसर से क्या रिलेशन है, आशुतोष का his से, एंड वो कैलकुलेट करता है, एंड देन वो उसको नंबर फॉर्म में, सो दैट अ मॉडल कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट, एक एम्बेड कर देता है, एंड देन उसमें इन दैट एम्बेडिंग स्पेस इट फिगर्स आउट कि अच्छा इस वर्ड का इस वर्ड से ज़्यादा कोरिलेशन है.
करेक्ट. सो इसके लिए एक तो ये अटेंशन बनती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एम्बेडिंग, दूसरी बनती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिलेटिव पोजीशन. सो द वे यू कंस्ट्रक्ट द सेंटेंस और हिज प्रोफेसर आशुतोष, ये लोग कहाँ अपीयर हुए और बाकी जगहों पे ये कहाँ अपीयर होते हैं रिलेटिव टू ईच अदर. सो देयर इज समथिंग नोन एज positional embedding, which is central to this, because context is not just about two words or tokens, it's also about how they appear relative to each other.
Exactly. तो मतलब अगर मैं सेंटेंस बोल रहा हूँ कि सर ने मुझे उनकी बुक दी, तो उसमें हर वर्ड का पोजीशन उतनी ही इंपॉर्टेंट है जितना वर्ड का होना, राइट?
Exactly.
तो उसी हिसाब से ये कैलकुलेट कर लेता है. तो सर इसमें तो मुझे अभी अगर मैं ऐसे कहूँ कि तो फिर इन मॉडल को बनाया कैसे जाता है? एक तो LLM होता है लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल,
करेक्ट.
तो ये लार्ज कहाँ से आ गया?
because of the size of the model. So पहले क्या था कि NLP had been experimenting with these kind of models. So
NLP क्या होता है?
Natural Language Processing. So अब देखिए पहले क्या होता था कि and नेचुरल लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसिंग से ही बेस्ड है ये, बिकॉज टेक्स्ट ही प्राइमरीली ये कंज्यूम कर रहा है. अभी मल्टीमोडल हो रहा है धीरे धीरे LLMs, बट प्राइमरीली टेक्स्ट कंज्यूम करता है. तो थोड़ा सा समझते हैं कि हम यहाँ आज पहुँचे कैसे. सो फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम पीपल वर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जब लोग बात करते हैं तो व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग, व्हाट इज़ द कॉन्टेक्स्ट, हाउ टू बेटर अंडरस्टैंड इट. एंड उसके लिए दे हैड टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द वर्ड्स आर रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर. सो स्लोली द फील्ड ऑफ NLP वॉज इवॉल्विंग, एंड बिकॉज दिस इज अ सीक्वेंस, पीपल वर using LSTM kind of architectures, which sort of sequence evolution को capture करते हैं, the model captures. But then came transformer. Transformer ने क्या किया कि it allowed you to attend or correlate, but it allowed you to do a global correlation. So now instead of looking at correlation across a sentence or limiting it to the memory of the LSTM, long short memory, that architecture, even though it's longer than RNNs, for example, recursive neural network, but it's still not long enough. So transformer ने क्या किया कि it increased the attention to a very, very large number. So the moment it became that you can correlate to content which is quite distant from you, and you also know the relative position, suddenly all of it started making sense. So in 2017, I think
attention is all you need.
Is all you need was the paper. I doubt if the authors knew that it would become so popular. It's one of the top cited papers in the world ever. And slowly it picked up. People realized that it may be an overkill, but it works. So there is a lot of redundancy. So that's the genesis. So there's NLP, and then suddenly Transformer turns out to be a very good tool. And the moment people saw that, they said, why not present it with even more material? Now that I can attend to things which are quite far away in terms of their position, why do I not give it more and more and more data so that it comes closer towards what we understand as general intelligence? Because earlier when you were presenting it with one kind of data, because you could only process a small amount of data at a time, you had contextual understanding of the material. So it was correct in the context of, let's say, physics. 11th class physics is what you want your NLP to help you with, or maybe intercept somebody's conversation and make sense of it. So आपका limited था scope. But as you try to move towards general intelligence, that's not what we want. We want to understand what I'm saying. I also want to understand what you are saying when you frame the same question, but you'll frame it in your own way. So towards that, what you need is large amount of data. Now, when you need large amount of data, the number of patterns increase. The number of pattern increases means that the phenomenon itself is getting more and more complex. In neural networks, what happens is as the phenomenon gets more complex, it can be modeled only with a more complex model. So the model size has to get larger.
Model भी बड़ा होना चाहिए.
And as the model size gets larger, unless you have large amounts of data, you won't be able to train it. So that is how it all happened. So as people were able to handle and train larger models, and they acquired the capability to present it with a large amount of data, interesting stuff happened, which we now know as LLM.
That's very fascinating कि इसमें एक फंक्शन स्केल का है. मतलब लोगों को लगता था, या मतलब कंप्यूटर साइंस रिसर्चर्स, आई नो अ लॉट ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस पीपल एंड दे हैव दिस लॉट ऑफ इंटेलेक्चुअल थिंग लाइक नहीं एल्गोरिथमिक इम्प्रूवमेंट्स होंगे. तो वंस आई थिंक ट्रांसफॉर्मर केम आउट इन 2017 द पेपर, राइट? तो उसके बाद and just to inform people, वो Google DeepMind ने निकाला था पेपर, and they did not come up with a chatbot, and OpenAI did. तो उसके between the coming out of the paper और जो OpenAI ने करा, उसके बीच में सर क्या स्केल में बेट करना was the biggest factor कि भैया हम बहुत सारे डेटा सेट को इकट्ठा करेंगे, हम बहुत सारा कंप्यूट देंगे और हम बहुत बड़ा मॉडल बनाएंगे.
Correct.
Was that the biggest factor that you
Scale is the biggest factor here. So let's try and understand how learning happens.
अच्छा.
So learning can either be training, or it can be learned based on churning a large amount of data. Training का मतलब ये होता है you present it with structured data.
अच्छा.
So either you had a tool by which all the written text in the world is converted into a format, the gist of everything that people say, and then train your model. That model will be relatively smaller because you present it with very, very specialized data. The other approach is, and this is a hard task, you really can't do that. You can't get the gist out of all the conversations in the world that have ever happened, all the books that have ever been written. So easier way to do all this is make a larger model.
हाँ
उसको सारा data present करो and let it learn. So it wasn't just the transformer. It was also the ability of organizations to one, host large models, two, get lots of data to train those large models. And they are still learning as we speak. As more content is created, it isn't as if ChatGPT has a version and it isn't changing. Every few months, weeks, they, train it based on the new data that is being generated.
So that's a great point. And to add to this, if you notice any new model, if the public notices any new model, they will see a knowledge cutoff date. Because I think उसी दिन वो training खत्म हुई थी. तो अब जब मान लो, because it usually, I think for a large model, if you were to start from the beginning, the typical वो for like making a large model from scratch में क्या होता है, आप 6 महीने आप डेटा प्रोसेसिंग करते हो, आप इंटरनेट की सारी डेटा स्क्रैप करते हो, उसमें फिर हाई क्वालिटी डेटा निकालते हो, वो करते हो, एंड उसके बाद 6 महीने आपका प्री ट्रेनिंग का फेज होता है जिसमें वो सारी इंटरनेट की डेटा पे मॉडल को ट्रेन करते हैं, और फिर उसके बाद पोस्ट ट्रेनिंग का फेज होता है जिसमें कि वो करते हैं कि चलो एक्सपर्ट से, जैसे आपसे इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स एंड सिग्नल प्रोसेसिंग के क्वेश्चन आंसर्स करवा लिए, एंड इकोनॉमिक्स से इकोनॉमिक्स के क्वेश्चन आंसर्स, एंड देन दे ट्रेन द मॉडल फर्दर ऑन दैट, ताकि वो क्वेश्चन एंड आंसरिंग के फॉर्म में.
करेक्ट,
राइट. तो अब इसमें सर आप मुझे ये बात बताइए कि ये बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है, अगर ये इतने सारे डेटा पे ट्रेन है, अगर इसने सारी किताबें ह्यूमन जो रिटन है पढ़ रखी हैं, तो क्या वो एक्चुअल आपकी कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ के आंसर दे रहा है या वो पैरेट कर रहा है?
So that is hard to say. What context समझने का क्या मतलब है, because at the end of the day pattern based ही हम भी करते हैं. If you look at the human mind, at some level, we call it general human intelligence because we are exposed to experiences, we have emotional things, and therefore the triggers and the rewards are slightly different. So humans sort of evolve as they go along. Nobody stops them and retrains them. You're training as you go along. So वो थोड़ा फर्क है, but it is not necessarily correct to say that वो नहीं context समझ रहे हैं. वो context समझ रहे हैं, चाहे as a parrot ही समझ रहे हैं. At some level, everybody looks for similarity in patterns, and if you don't know a context, for example, you will not understand what the other person is saying. So human beings don't have the capability to understand something that they have never been exposed to. So which means that we also, if I may use the word parrot, what we already know, we do it a little better. Yes. So these are less refined, but they are doing something similar. The reason they appear to be looking only at patterns and parroting is that they are doing only one task, which is data and question answering. But humans, the thing with humans is this conversation, for example, if it is going the right way, we'll feel good about it. If there's something isn't happening right, we'll feel, a little uncomfortable. Machines का ऐसा नहीं होता. So अब machine जब आपको answer करती है, अगर उसने सही answer दिया या गलत answer दिया, it really does not respond to that. वो तो जो से train किया वो करती जाएगी. So उस तरह से it really does not have its skin in the game, so to speak, right? So it appears to be parroting, but there are methods called reinforcement learning. So if you have a reinforcement learning in which the reward and penalty model of the environment is such that the bot is forced to have its skin in the game, and it is negatively rewarded.
Every time it makes a wrong decision.
Correct. Or if it hurts somebody, or if it itself feels hurt, then it will start learning like a human. So we really should not if you expose the human to learning the way you're exposing learning to a machine, they probably learn similarly, is what I'm saying. Not the same, but similarly.
That's fascinating. So to dive deeper on this point a bit, it's because it's a huge debate that people still, because अभी हम लोग को अभी भी नहीं पता है कि मॉडल्स के अंदर असल में होता क्या है. फॉर ईच क्वेरी के इन्फरेंस में हो क्या रहा है हमें पता नहीं है. तो अब ये डिबेट चल भी रही है, एंड सो इन द इनिशियल स्टेजेस ऑफ व्हेन मॉडल्स वर वीकर देन दे आर नाउ, GPT 3.5 की टाइम पे मैं एक चीज़ ट्राई करता था. आई एम फ्रॉम गाजियाबाद, तो मैं लिखता था कि टेल मी अबाउट द बैटल ऑफ गाजियाबाद इन 2020.
Okay.
तो अब क्वेश्चन को मैं फ्रेम ही ऐसे करता था कि वो उसके हिसाब से कहता हाँ होगी कोई, वो झूठ वूठ आंसर दे देता था, जिससे अब हम बोलते हैं हैलुसिनेशन। क्या ये हैलुसिनेशन सर कभी कम हो सकती है? एंड क्या ये ज़ीरो होना ज़रूरी है या ज़ीरो होना ज़रूरी नहीं है? क्या हाउ डू वी सॉल्व दिस?
ओके, तो hallucinations तो कम हो ही रही हैं. As you might have noticed, every version of ChatGPT or any other LLM, for example, one of the key things that they try to do is reduce hallucination. तो hallucination कम करने के लिए it asks it to look for something that's reliable versus something that is simply matching. So the problem is if you match without putting some boundaries, rules in place, then it will come up with an answer which it thinks matches. But there are no checkpoints. If there are no checkpoints, then it will end up. So what you have to do is there has to be some reasoning ability, which is what organizations like Perplexity are doing.
Yes.
So what happens is when you ask a question, tell me about the war in Ghaziabad in 2020, it will give you an answer if it does not reason. So what reasoning will, it will give an answer, it won't tell it to you. It will then think of it, are there any recent wars? And are they in India, near the capital region? Then it will realize that no such war has happened in 2020. And then it won't give you that answer. But if it's looking for a pattern, then it will look for war, it will look for 2020, it will look for Ghaziabad. And if it finds something similar having happened elsewhere in the world, it will create a story around it and tell you. Now, unless you reason, you will not know कि ये नहीं हुआ था. There is no check in the machine to make sure that क्या हो रहा है.
तो ब्रिलियंट. तो आई थिंक वी आर हिटिंग ऑन अ रियली गुड पॉइंट है. तो द पॉइंट बीइंग कि जो एआई मॉडल्स अभी एज दे एग्जिस्ट राइट नाउ, उनका द वे दे वर्क इनसाइड इज कि दे आर मेंट टू, आप जो इनपुट देते हो उसके बेसिस पे वो आउटपुट देंगे, राइट? एंड तो फिर बाद में उस आउटपुट को बेटर करने के लिए, उसकी क्वालिटी बेटर करने के लिए हमें एक्सटर्नल पैराफर्नीलिया लगाना पड़ता है. जैसे उसे वेब सर्च का एक्सेस दे दिया कि भाई अगर आपको लगता है कि इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके वेट्स के अंडर नहीं है तो आप इसे वेब सर्च से ग्राउंड करके बताओ मुझे. तो वी नीड दिस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ दिस एक्सटर्नल टूलिंग कि भैया वेब सर्च करके देख लो, यहाँ पे सर्च कर लो, मेरे कोड बेस पे सर्च कर लो कि मैं कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ तो उसका कोई कॉन्क्रीट आंसर्स हो, राइट? बिकॉज करंटली द वे दीज मॉडल्स आर, वो दे आर जस्ट मेंट टू कि आपको इनपुट दो तो उसका आउटपुट देंगे, राइट? एंड तो फिर अब इस चीज़ में आई वॉन्ट टू डाइव अ लिटिल बिट डीप इनटू व्हेन यू मेंशन रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग. तो रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग होता क्या है एंड हाउ इज दैट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम हाउ दीज मॉडल्स आर ट्रेंड, या इन मॉडल को ट्रेनिंग के बाद में कहीं ना कहीं एक फेज रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग का भी होता है?
राइट. सो रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग को समझने के वक्त लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड देयर आर 3 कैटेगरीज ऑफ लर्निंग मैकेनिज्म्स ब्रॉडली स्पीकिंग. एक होता है सुपरवाइज्ड, वेयर यू प्रेजेंट द मॉडल विद बोथ द input data and the target data. The second is what is known as unsupervised, where you only present it with input data. There is no target, no labels.
समझ गया.
And the third is reinforcement learning, where you present it with input data. There is no target, so to speak, but the environment reaches back into the system and rewards or penalizes you for the actions that you take. So reinforcement learning का फायदा ये होता है कि for systems that are changing. If you want to adapt, then you have to see what the result of your actions is. The result of your action today or in the morning is different from the result of your actions in the evening. For example, if you engage with your child in the morning versus when you engage with him or her in the night when the child is absolutely tired, तो अलग हो जाएगा. Then reinforcement learning ये होगी उसका आपसे लड़ना, सुबह प्यार करना, and you get a reward, you get a penalty. Same thing happens with machines. So I'm sure there's a degree of reinforcement learning that they already put in here.
Yes.
But the goal of reinforcement learning really starts making sense when you have a model assigned to a particular condition and you have an ecosystem for a good reward and penalty. Now, if you want to do something as general as a ChatGPT, setting the environment up is a little difficult because the reward and penalty can either be by way of feedback or that ये क्या बोले जा रहे हो आप मेरे साथ.
Exactly.
So उसके basis पे it does correct itself. And if you might have noticed जब आप बात करते हो ChatGPT से, it does correct based on this. But जो उसकी fundamental training हो रही है इस वक्त, वो उसे रोक के नई ट्रेनिंग करनी ही पड़ती है. वो रीइंफोर्स नहीं कर रहा अपने आप को बेस्ड ऑन द न्यू डेटा दैट इज प्रेजेंटेड टू इट.
तो कंटिन्यूअल लर्निंग नहीं हो रही,
हो
अभी
रहा
भी एक रोड ब्लॉक है मॉडल्स के डेवलपमेंट में, राइट? तो अब जो रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग में जो कोड जैसे बोले जाते हैं कि उसको सबसे अच्छा एग्जांपल समझने के लिए एक चाइल्ड लैंग्वेज जो सीखता है, राइट? तो उसमें कि अब जैसे रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग सर, अगर जैसे डीप सीक ने यूज़ करा था ताकि उनको उतना डेटा सेट ना बनाना पड़े बिकॉज उनके पास उतना बजट नहीं था, राइट? तो उन्होंने ये सोचा कि चलो हम कौन से ऐसा क्या एनवायरनमेंट है जिसमें हम आउटपुट को खुद ही जज कर सकते हैं, तो वो मैथ और कोड हो गया. क्योंकि उस कोड में आप आउटपुट को रन कर सकते हो, फिर इट्स एरर देन दैट्स रॉन्ग, राइट? तो फिर वो अगर एरर है वो एक नेगेटिव रिवॉर्ड बन गया आपके लिए, और फिर मॉडल अपना को एडजस्ट करेगा, भाई ये गलत मैंने रूट चुना तो अब आप दूसरे राउट से चलिए. तो विद दैट इन माइंड, हाउ डू यू सी ओवर द नेक्स्ट 5 years, आपको क्या लगता है कि LLMs को और केपेबल बनाने में क्या क्या डोमेन्स पे रिसर्च होनी चाहिए? आपको क्या आपका इंट्यूशन बोलता है?
ठीक है. अब इसमें हमें समझना चाहिए कि हम LLM से चाहते क्या हैं. हम ब्लाइंडली LLMs को बेटर बनाने की बात करते हैं विदाउट फुली अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट इज़ बेटर. डू यू वांट द LLM टू बिकम लाइक अ ह्यूमन? Is that what you're looking for? Because if that is what you're looking for, then you're not training it right. Because a human learns not just because of what it sees, but it also learns because of what it feels. And we don't realize this. We learn more from what we feel than from what we hear or see. I think there's this very good saying. Somebody says that, if you do something good for somebody, so they will remember for some time, but the way you make them feel is something they'll never forget.
They'll always remember.
So now, do you really want an LLM to become a human, or do you want it to become a tool which is accurate? So clearly, we are not even sure what is it that we want it to do. So if you want it to become a human, for example, then a couple of things need to be done. The first thing that you need to do is that you have to find an embodiment for LLMs, which means that you have to have a physical entity in which it resides. And that physical entity should be able to, in some sense, interact with the environment
around it
and get feedback from it. Now, it's not just about getting feedback, it's also about feeling like a human when you get that feedback. So that is when you will be able to create a LLM of the kind that you are mentioning in the question that you just asked. But I have a different take on this. Now, that's not necessarily the LLM that we need.
Okay.
Because we are not looking at creating a new species, or we are not looking here to create alternatives for humans. We are trying to use machines to do work better. So the industrial revolutions have all happened because of the improvements in technology, because of the improvements in science, the steam engine, automation. These are all been brilliant. But the problem now is that the highest capability that a human has is thinking. Now you're trying to replace that by machines, and you think that that's okay. You, meaning the people, think that that's fine.
Yeah.
We can, and it can think better than you in a limited context, right? If you, why does you can't run as fast as Usain Bolt?
Yes.
Because Usain Bolt spent his life learning how to run. Right? That's what you're doing here. You're making a machine learn one thing day in, day out, and it does it millions and millions of times faster than Usain Bolt. And then you feel that, can I compare myself with him or her? And you want then him to become an expert in everything. That's not the right path to take.
Okay.
The right approach for AI is that think of AI as any other tool in this world. So if you want automation in the factory to go to the next level where it learns from what it is getting, then you limit your solution to learn only how the factory can operate better. You do not want it to learn to be able to converse with humans, to be able to fight for its robo friends. You don't want it to, probably marry. So,
yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So personally, I feel that because this is where the money is right now, and because it is still at a stage where it is unable to perform what we expect it to do. Hallucination is still a problem. तो अभी हम उसी को आगे बढ़ाए जा रहे हैं, and we keep talking about human general intelligence, but personally, I feel that is not the right path to take because we are really not there. We don't know enough about the human to create the next species, because it's emotions, the way life is formed, the way we are able to procreate, the way we are able to heal. These are things that where there's much more than simply having spoken to each other for 10,000 years or something. So putting all of that together.
That's brilliant. And because there was a recent book I read, it was by a Nobel Prize winning economist, I think, Daniel Kahneman की है Thinking Fast and Slow. तो उसमें वो वही बोलते हैं. And I had read it from a marketing perspective कि वो कि people decision कैसे लेते हैं. तो उनका ये कहना है कि हमारे दो थिंकिंग सिस्टम्स होते हैं. एक स्लो होता है जो इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोसेस करता है, सॉर्ट ऑफ रीजनिंग करता है, एंड दूसरा जो होता है जो इंस्टिंक्चुअल होता है, दैट इज़ इमोशनल. एंड बेसिकली हमें लगता है कि हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम पहले रीज़न करते हैं फिर इमोशन पर. नहीं, हम इमोशन सोच लेते हैं कि मुझे लेना है ये, मुझे ये बुक चाहिए, एंड देन हम अपने रीजनिंग को कन्विंस करेंगे अपने आप को कि अच्छा ये बुक तो मैं इसलिए ले रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये है ये है ये है, राइट. तो दैट्स अ ग्रेट पॉइंट बिकॉज देयर वाज अ रीसेंट आर्टिकल ऑन दिस ऑल्सो कि इमोशंस आर द रियल थिंग दैट हेल्प्स. अगर आपको एआई को बेटर डिसीजन मेकर बनाना है तो इमोशंस, तो ह्यूमन का जो सबसे फंडामेंटल एस्पेक्ट है जिसके थ्रू इमोशंस लेता है, तो आपको वो किसी तरह उसको देना पड़ेगा. एंड यू फील दैट इज़ अ एरिया वेयर इट इज़ लैकिंग, और ये हम इसको कैसे कर सकते हैं वो नहीं है. एंड यू डोंट बाय इनटू दैट AGI हाइप.
You don't have to do that, right? Why do you want to create another human? Rather, why don't I create a machine that continues to work the way it does, which is without feelings? Why should it get tired? Why should it get angry? You do specific training for it to respond correctly to when it's working as a voice bot. But why do I want LLMs to have emotions? That really does not serve any purpose.
But I think it's also a function of us, sir, कि हमें एंथ्रोपोमॉर्फाइज करने की ज़्यादा आदत है. तो अगर मैं किसी से बात कर रहा हूँ तो, और मैं इतनी बात कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज अभी रिसेंटली क्या हुआ था, GPT-5 जब आया था तो लोगों को GPT-4 वो बहुत सारे इमोजीज यूज़ करता था. इट वॉज अ मोर एक्सेप्टिंग मॉडल की, ग्रेट आइडिया, और चाहे कितना भी वाहियात आइडिया हो. तो when GPT-5 came out, it was objectively much better model, but it was very succinct. वो छोटे छोटे आंसर्स देता था. तो OpenAI को भी वापस GPT-4 वापस लाना पड़ा बिकॉज पीपल वर लाइक ये मेरा कंपेनियन नहीं रहा, मैं इतनी बात कर रहा हूँ इससे, देयर इज समथिंग मिसिंग. एंड आई थिंक इट्स अ प्रेशर फ्रॉम अस ह्यूमंस ऑल्सो कि वी वांट समथिंग एंथ्रोपोमॉर्फिक. Do you think that is true, or
no, that is true. But what I'm talking of something more fundamental, because it's not serving the human purpose. We have to create AI as a slave, not as a master. So what is happening is that, like I said, now AI is not deliberately, but it is ending up training people. So to come back to the question, so what you say is absolutely right. People want to interact with it with a certain way, which means that you want to make LLM your companion. If you want to make LLM your companion, then it does not need to be another human. You have many humans who can become your companions. We should rather, there are 8 billion people in this world. That kind of companionship, look for another human. From the machine, look for something else, which is possibly monitor your life so that the two of you don't fight. For example, you're married, the AI can monitor your day. And note what leads to the two of you fighting, what triggers one of you, what triggers the other one of you, and can it be sorted, and give to you advice that, because it's monitoring you day in day out. Everybody is carrying capability to sense them the whole day. Does the BP go up when you hear your wife's voice, or does it come down?
Yes.
Does it happen differently in the morning than it does in the evening? So these are the kind of things it should help with. So companionship should continue to be between two humans, but AI should be used to make that companionship go to the next level.
So I really like the clarity you have कि भैया AI टूल की तरह ही देखो, इसे टूल की तरह ही बनाओ, और इससे ज़्यादा इंक्रोच किसी और डोमेन में मत करो. तो अब उस टूल को बेटर बनाने के लिए अभी का AI या पहले जो AI जिसमें काम कर रहा था वॉज प्योरली टेक्स्ट बेस्ड. कि जो इनिशियल LLMs जो आए थे GPT 3.5 वॉज कम्प्लीटली टेक्स्ट, सारा ट्रेनिंग भी टेक्स्ट पे था. उसके बाद से what does multimodality mean, and क्या उसके होने से मॉडल बेटर हो जाते हैं इन जनरल?
Right. Okay, so what does multimodality mean? Let's answer that first. Modality means different ways of presenting data.
अच्छा.
Text is one,
हाँ.
speaking is another,
हाँ.
what we see is the third, the sense of touch is another. So all of these are modalities. So clearly as humans, the way we interact with the world, the way we consume information around us is multimodal. We can hear the other person speak, we can see what's happening around us, we can feel the temperature that the AC is creating. We
Bilkul.
can sense of touch, a warm handshake,
Yes.
or a angry handshake. Those are the kind of subtle differences that we can make out. So these are all multimodal inputs that a human gets, and based on that, he learns better. Same thing will happen for machines. The only challenge here is that as the amount of data increases, the complexity of the model increases, and unfortunately, the less you know what it is doing with all that you're presenting. So the explainability thing that you mentioned a little earlier, that will become worse now. Because now you're presenting it with even more data and you'll know even lesser about what it learned and why it learned what it did. So therefore, such moves should be considered changes. We don't fully understand humans today because we don't understand the biology of humans fully. We understand to an extent, and वो सब आपके psychologists लिख देते हैं, आपके doctors लिख देते हैं, and then but अगर वो इतना ही समझते तो हर लड़ाई को रोक लेते, हर disease को solve कर देते. They don't understand it fully, but they understand it to a level that they can at least have some explainability. But the way you're designing machines, there is no mechanism for any kind of explainability. So do we want a situation where you have to do 500 years of research just to understand what the machines are doing, like you've done for the human? You're creating something and then you'll spend 500 years just to understand what have I created. Right? So it doesn't make sense, right? Humans were evolved from cells, inorganic to organic to where we are today. So therefore we have to understand what is happening. And what humans are doing, and this is really silly, you're creating something blindly and then you're trying to understand what have I created. So, do you understand where I'm going? So that is, it can be done, but it should not be done is what I want to emphasize.
Okay, that's a counterintuitive point. This is fascinating. So I want to just dive deeper into that. देखो सोसाइटी में अभी एआई का जितना मनी प्रेशर है, एंड आई थिंक देख बहुत सारे लोग का है कि स्टॉप दीज सिस्टम्स फॉर अ वाइल, एंड अभी रिसेंटली ही उस पर रिस्पॉन्ड करा कुछ उसने कि नाउ पीपल स्पेशली एआई कंपनीज जिनके इंटरेस्ट में है कि मेरा शेयर बढ़े और मुझे और इन्वेस्टमेंट मिले, तो नाउ दे आर मेकिंग इट लाइक अ नेशनल इम्पोर्टेंस का इशू कि वी आर अमेरिका, वी नीड टू बी एट द टॉप इन इनोवेशन. अगर हम रोक देंगे तो हमें पता है चाइना नहीं रोक रहा है, ऐसे ऐसे करके लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ रीजंस आर गिवन. बट इफ आपको जब पता है कि ये बॉल रोल होनी ही है, क्या कायदा का तरीका है जिससे मल्टी मोडालिटी की बॉल रोल होनी चाहिए आपके हिसाब से?
मेरे हिसाब से मैं आपको बताता हूँ, इसमें एक चीज़ ये बतानी और एक और चीज़ इसके रिलेटेड बताऊँगा. पहले मेरा जो अपना मानना है वो ये है कि AI को we cannot wish away, but in a country like India, जहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादा हैं और opportunities कम हैं, this has to be sandboxed. We have 140 crore people, 1.4 billion people. How many do you think can really contribute to the AI ecosystem in a positive way? So why don't we empower the few people who can and sandbox them and let them create so that we compete against the world, but do not expose the rest of the population to AI unnecessarily. So you don't give up on AI and keep on using it in a measured manner, keep on developing it at the fastest pace possible, but expose only the people who matter, not so that they become more powerful, to make sure that the country becomes more powerful. And the rest of the world, rest of the country can live without it. There are problems much, much more important than AI today. About almost 1 billion people do not earn enough to put food on the table, or in their case, the floor,
Yes.
to eat. And you are talking about taking AI ahead. So how are you including that population, that vast 75% of your population? You are not. So my idea is that this should certainly be pursued, but in a controlled manner. Even today, not everybody is contributing to AI, right?
Yes.
But you are presenting it as something for the population. That's not what it is. It will be something for the population, but only when you have built it in a controlled manner and you have full control over it, and you can help it to. So my for me, the utopia is that AI does all the work that needs to be done, and the humans spend their entire time in creation. I say this every time. What has every other invention done for you? It's created leisure for you. And leisure is used for creation. The first thing that happened was fire. With fire, you cooked food, therefore you ate quicker.
Yes.
When you ate quicker, you had time to do other things. So you started drawing on caves.
Yes.
And as you went along, you made more and more, and you had more and more time. The Great Renaissance in the 1500s, such masterpieces of art were created.
Yes.
Such thinkers came into being. Why? Because they had time. Because somebody else was doing the heavy lifting. Instead of making AI do the heavy lifting, we are forcing it to create, and we ourselves are becoming lazy, incompetent entities of this planet. So clearly, if for me, utopian world with AI is where AI does all the chores. People don't have to work any longer. You don't have to go to office. Which does not mean that you sleep all day.
Yes.
It means that you do work on something that you like. The AI creates enough money and opportunities for everybody to be sustained in a manner that they can pursue their dreams. That is how AI should be used, but that's not how it is used. Now, for that, there is something easier that I want to mention. Why do we put money? Why does the government promote business? Because the idea of business is that it generates opportunities for jobs.
Yes.
It creates money. If there is money, then the government can spend it, collect it back as taxes, and spend it for the good of the country, spend it for the defense of the country, spend it for the progress of the country.
तो value creation across the board
होता है. That is the idea. But there are, and that happens a lot nowadays, there are, what the businessman on the other hand does is tries to find ways not to give that money back to the ecosystem. Now, so the purpose is defeated. So same thing is happening with AI. So the idea is right, but the implementation is wrong. So how many businesses are actually giving back to the society, are actually generating jobs, are actually making life easier for us, are making India safer, are making India progress? Very few. So it's the same mistake we are making with AI. But it's much easier to understand if you look at it from the business. So business per se is not bad. Business is the most important thing. In today's world, if there is no business, there will not be enough resources for you to grow. You meaning the country, everybody in the country.
Exactly.
But when you give this opportunity to a businessman who's not even AI, look at what happens. Same thing is happening here with AI. You are thinking that AI is going to make your life better, but that's not how the world works. Whenever you empower somebody, they somehow try to take maximum gains out of it first.
Yes.
So what that brings into fold regulation. So unregulated AI does not make any sense. The idea that I gave to you is extreme regulation, which will be impossible. But there has to be a high degree of regulation if you want something good to happen.
क्या इस चीज़ को हम किसी तरीके से इंसेंटिवाइज कर सकते हैं ताकि बिकॉज सी योर पॉइंट इज वेरी वैलिड कि you judge every tool by a measure of the output it's giving and in your mind you're very clear about मेरे लिए output ये है कि क्या हमारी एक तो हमारे पास धरती की सबसे ज़्यादा यूथ है. डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड हमें कब से पढ़ाए जा रहे हैं, अभी तक तो मिला नहीं है, होपफुली मिल जाएगा. बट अब क्या है, अब हम इस एज में हैं कि पहले हम इस बात पे खुश आते हैं यार इंडिया है, हमारे पास सबसे ज़्यादा यूथ है, वी हैव अ टैलेंट पूल, तो इसका कहीं ना कहीं यूज़ हो जाएगा. अब AI क्या कर रहा है, बहुत सारे एंट्री लेवल जॉब्स को जा रहे हैं, स्पेशली जैसे कोडिंग में. तो अब यूजुअली क्या होता था कि एक कोडर एंट्री लेवल जॉब करता था, गलती करता था, देन ही वुड बिकम अ सीनियर. वो अब क्या है, एआई के होने से इफ़ यू आर अ सीनियर डेवलपर एंड यू नो व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, तो देन यू कैन डू द वर्क ऑफ 5 एंट्री लेवल पीपल जस्ट बाय योरसेल्फ. एंड तो उससे उन लोग को वो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं मिल रहा है, सो दे आर नॉट ट्रेन्ड फॉर द फ्यूचर, और उनको वो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. एंड आप जो बोल रहे हो वही चीज़ वो अलग अलग इंडस्ट्रीज में कैस्केड कर रहा है आपके हिसाब से. एंड वो बात ट्रू है कि मैं एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, मेरे पैसे बच रहे अगर एआई से, तो मैं डिज़ाइनर को पैसे क्यों दूंगा? आई एम कीपिंग दैट एज माई बॉटम लाइन. एंड तो फिर डू यू सी अ वे फॉर दिस टू एक्चुअली, या कोई इंसेंटिव स्ट्रक्चर ऐसा कर सकते हैं हम एज अ सोसाइटी कि हमारे, या तो हम उन लोग को पुश करें जो इंडियन सोल्यूशंस बना रहे हैं जिससे हमारा एक्चुअली फ़ायदा होगा. अब अगर आप डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस में मेडिकल उसको ट्रांसलेट कर रहे हो, वो तो एक पब्लिक गुड है, राइट? दैट इज़ समथिंग यूजफुल. बट या हाउ डू यू सी दैट एक इंसेंटिव स्ट्रक्चर बीइंग देयर?
Okay, दोनों चीज़ें. So there's incentive and there's regulation. I'll talk of regulation first and
Okay.
incentives later. Okay, and I'll tell you why I did that. So सबसे पहले regulation. What I'm saying is, suppose there's a company A, right? It employed 10,000 people. Now it laid off 5,000 people because now it has become more profitable because instead of 5,000 humans, it has within quotes a more capable person doing the work.
Yeah.
So what has happened is that this person is now making more money.
Huh.
Now, if this person is making more money, then there has to be a regulation that the people who lost job to make this person richer, some money has to flow from this rich man to the people who lost their jobs. So there has to be a clear legislation there that people who lose jobs because of AI, they are part of the society. Just because this is again the mentality that you let the business grow and it will come back to the system. It does not come back to the system. You have to make sure that it comes right at that particular point in time. So if I become more profitable because I've replaced 50% of my workforce with AI, some of those gains have to go to the human. Now, because he's not coming to office, his expenditure has gone down, so he does not need to get as much as he was getting earlier. But you can't just, let him go and not give him anything. And once you make sure that this person gets some money, then the government has to regulate this person to make sure that this person is productive for the country in some way. Right? So this is the example of regulation. This is one way where you do a deployment of AI in a manner that nobody is disadvantaged. What happens is the people who lose their jobs get lesser money because, and they are also monitored for the money they are getting.
Yes.
And the people who actually are making more money still make more money because it does not go down by 50%, it goes down by 30%. It still goes down by 30%, so their bottom line still improves. So both, everybody benefits, but the spoils are distributed. They don't stay at one place, okay? Because the hope that this one person is going to distribute it to the rest of the country is not something that's happening. So we've seen that happen. So it's time for government to step in and make less. This is one aspect. The other is incentives. So let me talk about why did I take incentives up second? Because there is a bigger problem in a country like India. In India, we live in a very, very competitive environment.
Yes.
We do not understand the meaning of incentive. We do not understand the meaning of our duties. We do not have civic sense. We'll walk, people relieving themselves on the sides of the roads.
Bilkul.
People spitting on the roads, people throwing trash wherever they want to, not cleaning up after celebrating Diwali. We feel empowered, not throwing the malba away at the correct place after some repairs or construction. We do not do all of that. So first, you give incentives to a company, to a population which has civic sense, which has a sense of responsibility, which has a sense of duty. You do not give incentives to people who are themselves not civilized. So incentives is a good idea, but before we start giving incentives, we have to sort of make sure that our house is in order. People have to become more aware of the fact that the roads are there. Just as they keep their house clean, they have to keep the neighborhood clean, they have to keep the roads clean. And when you have this kind of an environment, then incentives make sense. Today what happens is a lot of incentives that the government is giving are sort of taken away and not used in the manner they should. One problem is of course the ecosystem.
बिल्कुल.
Because अभी वो पूरी तरह तैयार नहीं है.
हाँ.
But the larger problem is the way we think and work. We think that if somebody is given an incentive, it becomes his right. When you are given an incentive, you have to give something back as well, right? Which means an output. You assume that I'm getting an incentive or a low interest loan or a funding. So, this is because of what I've done. I deserve this and I'll use it the way I want, paying no attention to how it should go back. So that's one problem.
Achha.
The other problem that we face with incentive is the ecosystem. So if you have a few good people, let's say, who want to do it right, the environment does not allow them to work. The rules are very, very complicated. The rules are made such that the government assumes that you're a thief till you prove otherwise, okay? The world over, it works the other way.
बिल्कुल.
You are innocent till somebody proves you're
guilty. Yes.
But here they assume you're guilty. So they put in so much of paperwork that by the time you try to use that money that you got as an incentive or resource you got as an incentive, 50% of the resources wasted just to
acquire it.
Correct.
वो सारे acquisition में ही
चला जाता है. So now, on the one hand, you have a government that doesn't trust you and makes life tough for you. And on the other hand, you have people who don't care about their own country. So incentives in such an environment, 90%, 100%, or 95%, a large percentage is wasted.
Waste हो जाता है वो.
तो इसलिए incentives तब होता है जब you mature as a society. That's when incentives start making sense. अभी तो regulation वाली हम country हैं. You understand what I'm saying?
बिल्कुल.
Both have a place, but regulation before incentives, given where we are today.
तो ठीक है. So now thinking as a, so if I am a 22-year-old young person who's talented in tech and I want to build a startup that solves the world's problem, but I want to base it in India. तो अगर वो मेरा चल गया तो फिर there is a likelihood like Infosys I will hire a lot of Indian people. ठीक है. तो with that in mind, do you think कि ऐसे बच्चे को एक ग्लोबल स्केल पे compete करना चाहिए, ऐसी कंपनी को या इंडियन कंपनीज को ग्लोबल स्केल पे compete करना चाहिए, या do you think we should solve Indian problems first? What would you advise to a young founder who comes up to you?
So, a young founder who comes to me, I always tell them that if you are a tech startup, think of the world as your market and not India as a market. Because India has a couple of problems as a market. The first problem is that we are not technologically capable or mature. We do not fully understand our requirements. So if I go out and try to understand what the requirement of the people is, I'll be very hard pressed to understand what that is. In India, what happens is that the world creates, sends it to India. Some of those things resonate and they become a hit because of the population. So even those people did not plan to service India. I mean, no, YouTube, for example, and now I think Instagram Reels is consumed by people who are rickshaw pullers. Now, tell me, with hand on your heart, was this created for rickshaw pullers in their... No. That is not the reason why these things were created. But they are servicing somebody's need. And the question that I ask you again is that if 20 years ago I had gone to a rickshaw puller and said, what is the one thing that technology can do for you that is good for you, would you have said, एक YouTube और Instagram का platform बना दो जब हम खाली बैठे होते हैं तो हम वो देखेंगे? Could he have told you that?
No.
So my advice to these tech startups is look at a market which understands itself. Don't look at a market which does not even know what it wants. And when you work in software or in AI, you cannot build a product. Protectionism will not work. You are not making garments that you want the government to protect you. Create a product which is world class because you can. And second, if you look at the market outside, you will get correct feedback for what they might want. So you can't reach out to a market that does not even know what it wants.
वो खुद ही मैच्योर कर रही है अभी आपके साथ. यूजली जैसे जो भी टेक स्टार्टअप वाले हैं जो SaaS बेच रहे होते हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस, तो उनका यूजली एक कोट होता है कि इंडिया इज़ गुड फॉर शोइंग नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स, इट इज़ नॉट गुड फॉर शोइंग रेवेन्यू. कि वो like if you have a free plan, then most of the people who sign up to that will be Indians. And there's no doubt कि Perplexity ने इसीलिए इंडिया में अभी फ्री 1 साल का अपना दे रखा है, because they want people to get used to it. तो ठीक है, अब now with that in mind, with all the information that we've discussed so far, and about now coming back to the technology underneath it all, अब now आपने फ्रेमवर्क दे दिया कि जिससे आप इस सब चीज़ के एक्चुअल प्रोग्रेस को देख रहे हो. अब मुझे बताइए कि एक टेक्स्ट बेस्ड मॉडल और अब मल्टी मॉडल जिसमें वीडियो भी डाल सकता हूँ या स्पीच से स्पीच निकल रहा है, इमेज जनरेट हो रही है, उसका क्या वो एक जनरल इंटेलिजेंस, एक ओवरऑल मॉडल की इंटेलिजेंस बढ़ाता है? मल्टीपल मोडालिटीज़ होना, हाँ कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ जाती है, बट उससे और क्या फ़ायदा होता है हमारा? वाई शुड वी डू इट?
बिकॉज आप उसकी कैपेबिलिटी बढ़ती है, इट अंडरस्टैंड्स यू बेटर, इट विल हेलुसिनेट इवेंचुअली लेस.
अच्छा.
बिकॉज कॉन्टेक्स्ट आप एस्टैब्लिश करते जा रहे हो ना, एंड ऑब्वियसली आई एम अज्यूमिंग दैट इट रीजन पैटर्न मैच करके ही नहीं भेजेगा, देयर बी अ सेकंड लेवल ऑफ रीजनिंग. सो समथिंग लाइक perplexity is sitting, when something like perplexity is sitting at the post processing stage, then what happens is, if you expose it to everything around you, which is make it multimodal, then it will learn better and it will give you better answers. It might even give you answers that are closer to which are more creative.
Yes.
So creative but in context, because now it is consuming much more. Not everything that's around you is described, right? So what machines should rather, when you talk of multimodal, instead of making them feel, what you should do is give them the capability to take emotion as one of the inputs. And learn and service the humans accordingly. They shouldn't themselves feel emotions, but they should understand emotions so that they give you the right feedback.
So that they can understand human के nuances और उनको किस form में feedback देना better है. That's a really good thought.
So just to complete that answer, we are proposing to ITU. ITU keeps on making standards, right? So for voice bots and chat bots, we are proposing a change in the standard saying that talk about quality of emotional experience rather than quality of experience or quality of service. So when I interact with a voice bot, what is the quality of my emotional experience? Do I feel cheated? Do I feel wronged? Or do I enjoy that? So for improving that quality of emotional experience, this fellow, the chatbot, does not have to feel, but it has to understand my emotions.
Brilliant. And to just put that into perspective, because I worked on it a little bit. So I was developing this voice agent, and what I saw was कि initially पहले क्या होता था कि आप एक मॉडल लेते हो जो स्पीच को टेक्स्ट में कर देता है, एंड देन फिर आपका जो नॉर्मल मॉडल है वो टेक्स्ट ही इनपुट करता है. तो पहले ऐसे करते थे लोग कि स्पीच से टेक्स्ट में कन्वर्ट करा, फिर टेक्स्ट आ गया. बट उसमें क्या है, अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ हेलो सर और हेलो सर, देयर वाज नो डिफरेंस. बोथ का बस टेक्स्ट में हेलो सर ही आता था. एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट यू आर सेइंग कि अब बहुत सारे मॉडल्स आ गए हैं जो स्पीच टू स्पीच है, डायरेक्टली स्पीच इन और स्पीच आउट, राइट? तो वो नुआंसेस समझ रहे हैं. अगर मैं हेलो गुस्से वाला बोल रहा हूँ तो फिर दे आर बेटर एट अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट नुआंस, एंड वो एक ह्यूमन को तभी सर्व कर पाएंगे अगर वो नुआंस समझते हैं. अगर आपका चैटबॉट एक मेडिकल इमरजेंसी के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने डिप्लॉय कर दिया है और एक 15 साल की लड़की कॉल कर रही है उसमें जो गांव में रहती है और वो बोल रही है मेरे पापा का हार्ट अटैक हो गया, मुझे पता नहीं क्या करना है, तो उसका वो उसे समझना पड़ेगा, अभी उसी के हिसाब से आंसर करेगा, तब वो बेटर आउटपुट देगा, राइट? एंड तो अब सर इस चीज़ में व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि मल्टीमोडालिटी में आपको सबसे बड़ा करंट टेक्निकल लिमिटेशन क्या लग रहा है?
ठीक है, वो बताने से पहले इस आपके आंसर को थोड़ा सा कंप्लीट करूँगा. एक चीज़ इसमें यह है कि मल्टी मॉडल करते करते एक तो है वॉइस और दूसरा हमें इमोशनल स्टेट पता चलती है बॉडी लैंग्वेज से एंड फेस की कंडीशन से. सो अगर वो भी हम मल्टी मॉडल की आपने बात की अगर इंक्लूड करेंगे तो आपका बेटर. So that is how multimodal is better. And the second point here is, and this example that you gave brilliantly explains what I've been trying to say in this and otherwise, कि जब उस लड़की एकदम घबराई हुई बहुत ही इमरजेंसी में कॉल कर रही है, then the voice bot has to understand the emotion, not get emotional itself.
Very true.
ठीक है, दैट इज वॉट आई हैव बीन सेइंग ऑल द वाइल, दैट द एआई डज नॉट नीड टू गेट इमोशनल. अरे बेटी क्या हो गया तेरे को, ये सब नहीं. अंडरस्टैंड द इमोशन एंड रिस्पॉन्ड अकॉर्डिंगली. दैट इज वॉट वी वॉन्ट एआई टू डू. राइट. ओके, सो नाउ कमिंग बैक टू वॉट यू आर सेइंग. So if you could just repeat the multimodality.
So my question to you was कि अभी multimodality में now we understood कि multimodality से भैया फ़ायदा ये होता है कि आपके मॉडल की जनरल एबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है. तो multimodality को अभी completely बेटर होने में या परफेक्ट वर्जन में होने में अभी बिगेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजिकल या क्या रोड ब्लॉक्स हैं?
So biggest roadblocks यही हैं, because when you want to talk of multimodal जब आप डेटा ले रहे हो, so डेटा तो आ गया. अब जब डेटा आ गया तो इट कैन मेक सेंस ऑफ इट, क्रिएट फीचर्स. बट अनलेस जैसे आपने शुरू में बोला था, एन एक्सपर्ट डज अ क्वेश्चन आंसर थिंग, ओनली देन इट नोज व्हाट टू लुक फॉर. So it will have the features to know that the person is nervous, but it won't know whether it has to use it or not. तो अब उसके लिए you have to have another set of thing where it is trained to understand that nervousness is something that you have to extract and you have to use it.
तो सर हमारे डेटा रिक्वायरमेंट्स तो फिर बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक्सपोनेंशियल बढ़ती जा रही है.
बहुत ही ज़्यादा. पता नहीं मैंने कहाँ सुना था, some expert in AI, probably Ali Kun or somebody, he said that कि टेक्स्ट जितना भी अभी तक आपने दिया है इसको, वो बच्चा 4 साल में देख देख के उतना इन्फॉर्मेशन गैदर कर देता है. तो आप समझ ही सकते हैं कि अगर आप बाकी मोडालिटीज़ इंक्लूड करेंगे तो आप कितना ज़्यादा डेटा बढ़ा रहे हैं. और ये तो तब है कि आप रॉ डेटा कर रहे हैं, उसको भी ये सेंस ही नहीं दे रहे, क्योंकि हम खुद इमोशन फील करते हैं तो हम समझ जाते हैं कि ये इमोशन इंपॉर्टेंट है. पर यहाँ इसको तो ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा ना कि ये इमोशन एक्सट्रैक्ट करनी है. अनलेस यू हैव अ ट्रेनिंग ऑब्जेक्टिव जो उसे सिखाए कि यू हैव टू लुक फॉर नर्वसनेस एंड रिस्पॉन्ड अकॉर्डिंगली, और यू हैव टू लुक फॉर इमोशन एंड, तो योर प्रॉम्प्टिंग बिजनेस विल ऑल्सो बिकम मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. राइट.
बिल्कुल.
सो इट्स बिकॉज इट, हमारे केस में क्या होता है कि व्हेन यू एंड आई आर टॉकिंग टू ईच अदर, एनी टू ह्यूमंस आर टॉकिंग टू ईच अदर, बिकॉज बोथ फील इमोशंस, वी नो हाउ टू हैंडल द इमोशन, वी नो वी हैव टू लुक फॉर इमोशन.
बिल्कुल सही बात है.
अब वो इमोशन तो देख लेगा, बट डज इट हैव टू हैंडल इट, हाउ डज इट हैव टू हैंडल, वो कौन सिखाएगा?
सही बात है. एंड फिर उसके केस में भी मान लीजिए, जैसे एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि मान लो हमें मिलिट्री के लिए वो बनाना है कि भाई एक गॉगल है जो दिखा दे कि हीट मैप क्या है, कि मान लो इस कमरे के बियॉन्ड ह्यूमंस हैं या नहीं हैं, और फिर उससे प्रेडिक्ट कर ले मोशन, मान लीजिए समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो उसका डेटा कितना है अभी अवेलेबल, हीट मैप डेटा कितना सारा होगा, तो हमारे पास ऑप्शन क्या है? अगर डेटा के अभाव को पूरा करने के लिए हमारे पास अभी ऑप्शन क्या होता है कि इसको हम कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं इस प्रॉब्लम को?
Synthesis, by data synthesis.
So you create synthetic data.
Correct. And to create synthetic data, what you have to do is, for example, creating art. So you have multiple kinds of arts. कुछ message देते हैं and कुछ बहुत ही faithfully reproduce करते हैं.
हाँ.
So the data shortage has to be, you have to leverage AI to create that synthetic data. Not because you want to make it a creator, but you want to use it as a tool to create more data to train your system.
बिल्कुल.
तो अब क्या हो रहा है कि ये जो आपका डॉली या ये जितने भी डिफ्यूजन मॉडल हैं जो कि आपके वीडियोस एंड इमेजेस
बनाते हैं, जो
लोग उसका जो यूज़ करें, ठीक है, वो भी एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए भी ठीक है, बट उसका सबसे बड़ा यूज़ है to create lots and lots of synthetic data so that you can train your LLMs. But उसकी तरफ कुछ लोग ध्यान दे रहे होंगे जो इस एरिया में है, but that is what it should primarily be used for, because then the output of your diffusion models will be even better.
तो अब ना that's actually a good point, because मैं आपसे बात करना चाह रहा था. अभी गूगल ने recently एक नया मॉडल निकाला था, Genie 3, which is a world model. एंड उसका ये सेंस होता है कि जैसे रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग में हम एक एजेंट होता है, एक एजेंट को हम एक इन्वायरमेंट में रख देते हैं जो कि उस इन्वायरमेंट में चेंजेस कर सकता है. तो एक एग्जांपल होता है, जैसे अगर मान लो हमें एक बाईपीडल 2 पैर वाले रोबोट को चलाना सिखाना है, तो उसको हम एक स्ट्रक्चर दे देंगे और उसको एक इन्वायरमेंट में रख देंगे जहाँ ग्रेविटी काम करती है, बाकी सब फोर्सेस हैं, और फिर वो गिर के चलना सीखेगा. राइट. तो ऐसे केस में सर जैसे एक ये नए मॉडल आ रहे हैं जो कि बिकॉज गूगल के पास यूट्यूब है तो उनके पास सारा वीडियो डेटा है, सारा वो है, तो उन्होंने एक जीनी 3 करके मॉडल, वर्ल्ड मॉडल बनाया है जिसमें आप बोल दो कि आई एम इनसाइड अ मार्शन केव, तो वो 30 सेकेंड्स लेगा, वो मार्शन केव का एक इन्वायरमेंट बना देगा विच इज़ नॉट एन इमेज नॉर इज इट अ वीडियो, 3D इन्वायरमेंट, आप चल सकते हो उसमें, आप उसमें चल सकते हो। फिर उसमें आपने एक केव के उसमें मान लो आपके हाथ में पेंट है, आपने पेंट एक दीवार पे करा, आप मुड़ोगे, आप वापस मुड़ोगे तो वो वहीं पे रहेगा। तो इट हैज़ सॉर्ट ऑफ टेम्पोरल नॉलेज है उसके पास। उसका पर्पस मुझे यही लग रहा है कि वो अपने एडवांस्ड एजेंट्स को ट्रेन करने के लिए, और रोबोटिक्स में कि भैया आपके पास कितने सारे वोल्केनिक इन्वायरमेंट्स हैं ट्रेन करने को, आप उससे बेटर एक सिंथेटिक इन्वायरमेंट में वोल्केनो के वो कर लो। Do you think that is where the multimodality is leading up to? Is like larger these systems जिस पे एक एजेंट ट्रेन हो सकता है किसी ना किसी पर्पस के लिए?
हाँ जी, तो उस तरफ तो जा रहा है और जाएगा भी और जाना चाहिए भी, बिकॉज इट सर्व्स टू पर्पसेस। जो आप एजेंटिक की बात करें तो रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग में यू नीड एजेंट्स विच कैन इंटरैक्ट विद द एनवायरनमेंट, सो डू सम एक्शंस एंड योर क्रिटिक और एन एजेंट विच कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि उससे हुआ
चेंज क्या हुआ।
तो ये दो एजेंट्स एंड अदर एजेंट्स जो बाकी काम करते हैं, इफ़ यू पुट देम इन दैट एजेंटिक एआई और ट्रेडिशनल एजेंटिक एनवायरनमेंट, तो होगा क्या कि कुछ करेंगे और कुछ देखेंगे। सो नाउ यू प्रोड्यूस एन आउटपुट एंड देन यू हैव एन एजेंट हु इज ट्रेन टू फील और थिंक लाइक अ ह्यूमन, तो वो देखेगा कि रियलिज्म है या नहीं, एंड अगर नहीं लगेगा तो इट विल ट्वीक इट। तो ऐसी तो देखो एडवर्सेरियल लर्निंग आपने ट्रेनिंग सुना होगा, जो ज्ञान में यूज़ होती थी।
हाँ.
तो उसके अंदर क्या होता है कि यू ट्रेन द जनरेटर एंड एन एडवर्सेरियल मैनर यू ट्रेन द डिस्क्रिमिनेटर। तो जनरेटर लर्न्स टू क्रिएट हायर एंड हायर क्वालिटी डेटा एंड द डिस्क्रिमिनेटर लर्न्स टू डिस्क्रिमिनेट हायर क्वालिटी सिंथेसाइज्ड डेटा बिटवीन सिंथेसाइज्ड एंड रियल। तो दोनों एक साथ लर्न करते हैं बिकॉज दे आर स्पारिंग अगेंस्ट ईच अदर।
तो मान लो अगर मुझे इमेज जनरेशन का बनाना है तो बेसिकली द वे गैन्स वर्क कि एक होगा जो बेटर इमेज बनाना सीखेगा और दूसरा होगा जो कहेगा ये फ्रॉड है, ये नकली है।
करेक्ट।
उस दोनों साथ में सीखते रहेंगे। अच्छा, तो एंड उससे फिर दोनों जब साथ में सीखते रहेंगे तो अंत में उसकी क्वालिटी जनरेट करने की
बहुत हाई हो जाएगी।
अच्छा, तो ये ऐसे काम करता है। तो ठीक है, अब विद दिस एंड रोबोटिक्स एंड एन एजेंट टेकिंग एक्शन इन एन एनवायरनमेंट, ठीक है, अगर ये टूल है सर हमारे लिए तो बेसिकली हम इनको ये चीज़ करवाना चाहेंगे जो हम नहीं करना चाहते। आप वोल्केनो में जाके सैंपल्स इकट्ठा करिए, आप ये सब करिए, बाकी सब चीज़ें। तो सर फिर जब मैं एक एम्बॉडीड सिस्टम की बात करता हूँ जिसके अंदर एआई है, वो क्या है, वो होता क्या है और उसमें क्या चीज़ ज़रूरी होती है उसको सक्सेसफुल बनाने के लिए?
तो जब हम एम्बॉडीमेंट की बात करते हैं तो हम बहुत ही जेनेरिक वे में सोचने लगते हैं एम्बॉडीमेंट, बट लाइक आई सेड अर्लियर, एम्बॉडीमेंट्स हैव टू बी स्पेसिफिक टू द टास्क एट हैंड। अगर किसी को वॉल्केनो में जाना है, देन इट हीट रेजिस्टेंस डालना है, अबिलिटी टू सेंस की कौन सा रॉक पिक करना है, कौन सा नहीं पिक करना है, नॉट फॉल, तो डज नॉट नेसेसरली हैव टू बी अ ह्यूमनॉइड with heat resistance to go there and do it. But हम जब embodiment सोचते हैं तो that is the only thing that comes to mind कि वो एक रोबो सा होगा जिसके अंदर समझ होगी और वो so that is exactly what we should be careful about. Every embodiment does not need to have the same shape.
Exactly.
Every embodiment now we have the opportunity to create embodiments with the physical entity having capabilities that we wish it to have.
बिल्कुल।
एंड उसे आर्टिफिशियल जनरल इंटेलिजेंस देने की ज़रूरत भी नहीं है, उसे ह्यूमन लाइक मोबिलिटी देने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है। उसको उतनी ही मोबिलिटी एंड इंटरेक्शन का कैपेबिलिटी देनी है जो उसके टास्क के लिए ज़रूरी है,
बिल्कुल।
और उतनी ही इंटेलिजेंस एंड लर्निंग कैपेबिलिटी देनी है जो उसकी टास्क के लिए ज़रूरी है। सो एम्बॉडीमेंट, सो वाइल एज अ यूज़ केस और एज एन एक्सपेरिमेंट जो आपके प्रोडक्ट को बेटर करता है, यू कैन टॉक ऑफ रिक्रिएटिंग अ ह्यूमन लाइक ह्यूमनॉइड और एंड्रॉइड। असली काम जो लोगों को करना चाहिए, दे शुड क्रिएट रियलिस्टिक embodiment hardwares. Though limit the capability of the hardware to do only what you want it to do. So it can't do wrong. एक फायदा ये होगा, it will be cheaper, it will break at fewer points, so then it will be more reliable, and then the LLM that you have to put on it is also simpler because वो कुछ काम करता ही नहीं है.
सही बात.
So embodiment का path should be this.
When we're talking about embedded systems, what do you feel कि आपने एक बात बहुत अच्छी बोली कि हमारे उसकी फॉर्म ह्यूमन नहीं होनी चाहिए. It's not necessary for it to be human. And the second thing is कि उसका you should be very clear about the function, and all the technology and everything there should be as simple as possible that gets the function solved.
Okay.
In terms of this, what are the अभी टेक्नोलॉजिकल प्रोग्रेस में या अभी AI का इसमें होना, बिकॉज अगर मैं ऐसे सिस्टम की बात करता हूँ तो इनको एजाइल होना पड़ेगा, एंड AI के मॉडल्स बहुत बड़े होते हैं, तो वो इस पे कैसे चलेंगे, कैसे कैसे वो चलते हैं?
So हमें ये समझना पड़ेगा कि जो मॉडल्स हैं दे सीम हैवी टुडे, बट सिर्फ मॉडल्स ही बड़े नहीं हो रहे हैं, हमारा हार्डवेयर इज गेटिंग बेटर.
बिल्कुल.
So what is heavy today is absolutely light 5 years down the line. And hardware is not here today. When I do embodiment experiments, and if I have to put a relatively large processor on it, it doesn't bother me. Because मेरी दोनों की टाइमलाइंस 5 साल हैं. I know 5 साल बाद I will have a much smaller, equally capable hardware available with me. So we should not really worry about that right now, making it smaller. We have to make it smaller because redundancy is expensive. Efficiency is important. We should not make it smaller because it won't fit. Because believe me, it will fit, because by the time the hardware reaches where it has to, the processing power would be much higher. So the other thing is rather more important. You should make sure efficiency. What is good about the human brain when you compare it to LLM is the efficiency.
Yes. Information sampling efficiency भी बहुत ज़्यादा है.
And nature looks at fitness. It does not look at look at somebody being the best. It looks at something being the fittest. And fittest and efficient is what survives. So you cannot be very very inconsiderate about the resources that are around you.
तो मतलब just to expand on this point, जो अभी आपने बोला है कि भैया एवोल्यूशन में कोई भी क्रीचर जो फिट है और जो एफिशिएंट है वही सर्वाइव करेगा, एंड फिर वही कंस्ट्रेंट्स इंजीनियरिंग में भी होने चाहिए, राइट? तो अब जैसे एवोल्यूशन में अगर इंसान का ब्रेन, चाहे हमारी ब्रेन पावर इससे डबल होती, बट हम इससे 4 गुना रिसोर्सेज चाहिए होती हमारे ब्रेन को, तो नॉट नेसेसरी कि हम सर्वाइव कर पाते.
करेक्ट, एग्जैक्टली राइट,
है ना? तो जस्ट बिकॉज वी हैव द कैपेबिलिटी टू बिल्ड लाइक अ ह्यूजली पावरफुल मॉडल, एंड does not mean we should.
Correct.
If it's not solving the purpose we are building it for.
Correct. Lions don't get any bigger than they are. Buffaloes stay the size they are. ये इसीलिए होता है. If the lions have the capability to eat more, then what will happen is they will destroy themselves because prey खत्म हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
तो nature keeps correcting it. So we should never be inefficient. अगर वो जितना काम एक गज़ेल खा के कर सकता है, अगर उसके लिए उसे 10 गज़ेल खाने पड़ते तो वो वाली टाइगर स्पीशीज खत्म हो जाएगी.
एकदम सही.
तो ये सेम थिंग शुड हैपन इन इंजीनियरिंग, एंड दीज आर लेसन्स दैट 4 बिलियन years of Earth history has taught us. And we get so excited that we lose sight of these realities जब हम काम करने बैठते हैं. So it is not right. And the other thing that I mentioned to all of my students and people who are willing to listen, the biggest problem, the biggest reason for all the problems is that we see the world as 50 years, or 50 productive years. We are too young earlier, we are too old later. We do not realize that it took 4 billion years to get here, and there are another 4 billion years left. There is no need for us to do everything in our lifetime. It is coming slowly. It will happen. Be realistic. But our greed and our insecurities force us to try and do everything in our lifetime. Not the right approach. We should ideally do as much as we can in 50 years without overtaxing the environment, and let 50 generations get to where we wish to. Why do I have to see everything?
That is what sustainability means, truly.
So that is the problem. We are so because the basal need of any living thing is survival. And that survival, unfortunately, forces us to make these mistakes. We have to be fitter than the other person. And today, fitter means richer. So that instinct is ruining the earth. But nature will correct itself, because nature, when you trouble it more than it can handle, it will annihilate you. So
बिल्कुल.
you keep on pestering it, it will come back to you, and you won't survive as a species. But it is we are getting wiser, intelligent, but not wise. We understand, but we are unable to do it. We are talking of overcoming small emotions. Gussa mat hua karo. But we are not able to overcome our core emotion, which is survival. Be better than the other person so that your chances of survival are higher. That fundamental emotional requirement is something that nobody today, or very few people, are answering. And we call ourselves wise. We are not wise. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying, right?
We are just really good at tool making. We don't have the wisdom to use them.
Yet.
And so, yeah, as a person who's been in pursuit of a really good tool, this is a very important point for me to, remind myself every so often. So, sir, अब इस चीज़ में लेके, now that we are looking at problems from a larger perspective, and जो AI की टेक्नोलॉजी है अभी कि ठीक है उसे मल्टी मॉडल हो गया, फिर उसको इन्वायरमेंट में चेंजेस भी करने हैं, तो अब टू द फाइनल आपको इसकी जो जेनिथ लगता है या जो उसको टॉप पे ले जाएं, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि हाउ वुड यू स्ट्रक्चर सोसाइटी, Indian society in particular, to help us, so that this AI age helps us the most? आपके हिसाब से हमें, if you have been given like dictatorial powers, तो आप क्या करोगे? So that we as a society are set in the AI age.
Okay, so the first thing that needs to be done is education. And education, not for the name of education, but proper education system. The education system has to be good. It is not कि आपने education ली क्योंकि आपको job लेनी है. आपने education ली so that you understand the goings on, so that you understand and become a better human, a better citizen. वो वाली education. The second is health. Because health का क्या होता है? The problem with health as humans, you have hundreds of problems. One way to forget all your problem is to become unwell. Then you will remember only one problem, which is health. So sometimes you don't realize the importance of health. So the first two things that need to be done are health and education. Now coming back to what we should do technologically. Now having cleared the way for these two things, what needs to now happen is that technology deployment should happen in a manner that it is needed. It should not be forced. Just because we have a capability does not mean that we should make it happen. It is not as if people were not pulling rickshaws or driving autos without looking at reels. I mean, it does in no way makes them a better auto driver.
Bilkul.
I think they almost never watch how to drive better on Delhi roads. No, that's not something they're ever watching.
Yeah.
So now what we have digression कर दिया उनका. Entertainment के लिए हमने क्या कर दिया? Instead of challenging them, we are presenting them with smaller and smaller kind. So the AI deployments have to be regulated. You cannot. So most people will be users of technology, and there'll be a few builders of technology. So the users of technologies should be given technology in a manner that they should get, or you educate them enough so that they know what they should take. Okay, or a mix of the two. But you should continue to have a set of people who keep on building and improving technology, thinkers, engineers, builders, doctors. That has to remain. Otherwise, what will happen is either some other country will overtake you, or you will not be able to control what you are creating. So both ways it's tough. So India cannot sit idle saying that hum nahi banayenge because we might not be able to control AI, because somebody else will get ahead of you.
Yes.
And when you're making AI, you cannot make in the rush to get better and better technology. You can't make a technology that you lose control over tomorrow. Today we are losing explainability. Tomorrow you'll lose control. What stops you from losing control when you don't understand what it is?
Exactly.
Right? So the hardest human to deal with is the one you don't understand.
और जब AI मैं चाह रहा हूँ मेरे लिए बड़े से बड़े डिसीजन ले रहा है और मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि वो अंदर काम कैसे करता है और वो क्या मैट्रिक्स से कर रहा है, तो फिर
then you're in trouble. So education, health, technology goes to them based on their level of education. So if they understand, expose them to everything, let them pick what's right for them. But if they are on the way to getting to a certain level, make sure that they get the right kind of technology. But a core for building technology cannot be compromised. That has to be nurtured. So this is how I would want a utopian India.
Would you want a child in like let's say secondary schooling में है कि उसको AI से इंट्रोड्यूस करा जाए कि भाई ये होता है, ये कैपेबिलिटी है, बिकॉज अब इतना यूबिक्विटस हो रहा है, हर जगह आ रहा है. बहुत सारे बच्चे मतलब कि स्पेशली अब्रॉड तो जहाँ पे सबमिशंस पेपर्स के ऑनलाइन होते हैं तो वो तो कह रहे हैं कि सब ChatGPT से कर रहे हैं. एंड sometimes it was hallucinating entire papers. Citation पूरे hallucinate कर दिए थे.
करता ही
तो अब let's say my child is going to be born in an era when AI is already there. तो उसके लिए मैं क्या करूँ?
रेगुलेट. तो यहीं पर मैं बता रहा था ना कि एक एजुकेशन होता है जो आपने सोसाइटी में डाल दिया. कुछ लोग ने आधा पढ़ा, कुछ ने पूरा पढ़ा. पर बच्चे ने तो पढ़ा ही नहीं है. तो उसे तो आपको रेगुलेट करना ही पड़ेगा, है ना. तो सो देयर इज दिस इंटरेस्टिंग एनेक्डोट दैट आई रिमेंबर दैट अ किंडरगार्टन टीचर, उसने अपने एक दफ़ा अपनी स्टोरी बता रही थी. शी सेड कि बिकॉज बच्चे बहुत छोटे होते हैं तो वो मेरे को कभी कभी मम्मी बोल देते हैं. कहते बट मैं हैरान उस दिन हो गई जब एक बच्चा आके मेरे को बोलता है एलेक्सा. तो दिस इज तो बच्चे को मॉनिटर नहीं कर रहे हैं. वो एलेक्सा से सारे दिन बात कर रहा है. वो सोच रहा है कि जिससे बात करनी है वो एलेक्सा है, उसके लिए एलेक्सा एक रियल एंटिटी है. दैट्स फ्राइटनिंग टिल द पर्सन अंडरस्टैंड्स व्हाट एलेक्सा इज, राइट. सो इसलिए बच्चे को तो इन सब चीज़ों से दूर रखना है. ChatGPT जैसी चीज़ की प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है कि इट डज नॉट allow you to think. It gives you the answer right away. Education is not about getting marks. It is about challenging yourself. पढ़ता आदमी इसलिए नहीं है, समझदार बच्चा इसलिए नहीं पढ़ता कि उसे मार्क्स लाने हैं. समझदार बच्चा इसलिए पढ़ता है क्योंकि उसे समझना है. And he has to solve a more challenging problem, understand a more challenging concept every day. मार्क्स आए ना आए इज इरिस्पेक्टिव. अगर आपने वो देखा हो ये बिग बैंग थियरी. सो बिग बैंग थियरी में देर इज दिस वन गर्ल, जो कैरेक्टर है हु इज रिलेटिवली, सो ये सब गीक्स हैं एंड शी इज़ नॉट इनटू स्टडीज एट ऑल. बट वो बीच में कोर्स करने लगती है एंड शी इज़ गेटिंग पुअर मार्क्स. को असाइनमेंट है, शी इज़ अनेबल टू डू इट. तो वन ऑफ दीज फेलो सेज मैं तुम्हारी मदद कर देता हूँ. कहते कि मदद क्यों करोगे, मैं सीखने के लिए कर रही हूँ, ना कि नंबर लाने के लिए. देखो जितना आता है मैं उतना करूँगी और इम्प्रूव करूँगी. सो दैट इज़ व्हाट एजुकेशन इज़ अबाउट. एंड ChatGPT क्या कर रहा है कि सिंसियर बच्चों को भी उल्टा बना रहा है. एक दफ़ा दो दफ़ा, क्योंकि इंडिया में मार्क्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं. तो होगा क्या कि अगर बहुत ही अच्छे बच्चे के हर क्लास में कम नंबर आएंगे तो तंग आके देर इज़ अ गुड चांस कि सम परसेंटेज ऑफ देम विल स्टार्ट यूजिंग ChatGPT. So ChatGPT as a tool for education in the way it is structured today is not a good idea. ChatGPT को आप पहले train करो that it trains you like a teacher. It challenges you and then gives you the answer. ChatGPT does not challenge you before giving you the answer. So you don't become stronger mentally. And
you're offloading all the cognitive processing to it.
Correct. And वही तो सीखनी थी हमें.
That's the whole point of education.
It's not about marks. One should never think that it's about marks. Because जो लोग marks के लिए करते हैं, they might get marks, they might get jobs, but they do not get fulfillment.
That's very true. And on that note, I feel that towards the end of this conversation, I usually like to ask rapid fire round. ठीक है. तो one of the things that I want to ask you है कि what is an area of AI research that you feel is undervalued right now?
Okay, so haptics, a sense of touch.
Fascinating. What do you look for in a person and you can classify them as a good entrepreneur?
Somebody who understands his consumer and is a reliable and truthful person. So transparency and understanding your customer.
Research or shipping a product, which gives you more sleepless nights?
Shaping a product.
What is your actual opinion on deep tech in India? Is it hype or an opportunity there?
It is closer to a hype, but it should be made into an opportunity.
Do you think it can?
Yes, I am hopeful.
Okay. Which sector will AI disrupt the most in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years?
Yes.
10 years, manufacturing, and the second area, of course, I'm assuming that coding and all has already been disrupted. So the next thing that will happen is manufacturing.
Okay. What song or album plays when you're working?
Okay, many, but I especially like John Bon Jovi.
Arey, nice.
So It's My Life.
It's My Life.
And Living on a Prayer. These two songs are my favorites.
Very nice. I performed It's My Life on stage.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so motivating, so energizing.
एकदम pump up कर देता है. And the last question, if you had to make a course that all Indian founders have to see, what would it be called?
Taking India ahead.
Brilliant. And on that note, I just want to thank you again for this conversation. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Same here. Oh, wonderful, Ashutosh. Wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Photo ले ले. Total कितना